And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for like probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson here to recap NFL Week 15. And oh boy, it was a great week for all the wrong reasons. We are not going to focus on the important things. We are going to focus on the dumbest possible story. That is going to be coming up in a second. I want to remind everybody that today's episode is presented to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. If you're going to be betting on the NFL playoffs, the college football playoff coming up this weekend, make sure to go and do it over at FanDuel. Any lines that have your attention?
Do you know what I've been dying? I die for this. I love this moment every single football season.
Okay.
That with this week, Joe, do you know what we as football fans get back and get to do on Saturday and get to gamble on at FanDuel on Saturday with?
What?
NFL football on Saturday returns.
And the college football playoff.
Yes. So it's just like we're back. Like that, this little week and a half in between. Do we have football? Do we not? Is it over? It's not over. NFL is dueling with college football on Saturday. Thursday night this week, I know I was joking around about awful Atlanta playing last Thursday. Rams Seahawks. I love freaking bury me in that. I'd watch that all day, every day. Rams currently favored by 1.5.
Oh.
I like that line. I'm liking a lot. I'm seeing the board a little bit right now.
Well, if you want to go and take that bet, make sure to go and do it over at FanDuel. Now, I don't think anyone would have bet that good old fat Phillip Rivers would have started a game for the Indianapolis Colts. Sean, you said this to me before we started today's show, and I didn't want to give you my full thoughts before we got into the actual segment. This could not have been a more perfect Hack City storyline. Literally could not have been a more perfectly constructed. I had to keep reminding myself yesterday and today, this was real.
Yeah.
This was something that happened. A overweight, dumpy, not in good shape, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers went out there and started a game. And he played exactly how I think any of us would have expected a fat 44-year-old dad to play. He was launching his whole body into it. He had no arm strength. The craziest part about his performance was that he completed just 2 of 8 attempts over 10 air yards for 33 yards and a pick, compared to the 16 of 18 for 87 yards and a touchdown on passes underneath that limit. Look, I give him credit for going out there and trotting out there, doing his thing. Apparently, Matt Ryan was talking about this on Russillo's pod. Part of the reason why they did this is that he's in constant communication with the organization. He just talks to them all the time, which created this circumstance. But dude, I was in love watching this. This was the stupidest thing that I've ever witnessed, and it could not have been more perfect.
It's all I care about. All I care about is seeing more fat Phillip Rivers on an NFL field, trying desperately not to get decleated by all of these savages on the other side on the defense. I mean, Terminators charging after you. You're 45, dude. You wanted another crack at it? Okay, I'll get to that. What I've enjoyed is with AI and social media, everybody in sports media is kind of living the same life. And it feels like everybody is doing this shared universal take when everything happens. This is an exception, because you can't predict an NFL franchise in 2025 is going to trot out an overweight 45-year-old quarterback that played 1 season for them and 15 in San Diego, and he actually gets to start. You can't do that. So people had to build out their own reactions, their own takes, unheard of. This is some 1960s shit. This is some shit that they would do, like at the first Super Bowl when we had a guy, the fan man, who flew down in the stadium with a jetpack. Like this is some classic NFL stuff that you just cannot script because of team desperation or relationships, connectivity. Give it to me. Get fatter, Phillip Rivers. Get even fatter. I want Atlanta to sign you next year. Keep it up. Satchel Paige played well into his 50s. I know it was some gimmicky stuff. I love the gimmick. I'd buy a ticket to watch you in person.
I think the best part about this was his physical state. Because it's not like Matt. I was listening to Matt Ryan talk about this.
Yeah.
You see Matt Ryan in the studio. He's in really good shape.
He's got abs. Yeah.
I bet you if we called up Tom Brady and asked him to play a game, he wouldn't look silly. He would probably be slightly better statistically than Phillip Rivers, but he wouldn't look like he didn't even look like he was built like an offensive lineman in this circumstance. He literally looked like a big, just overweight dad who won a contest to go out there and play a game. And I'm not trying to shit on him. One thing that was really cool, by the way, there's this one clip that was circulating where he's so cerebral. He's one of the most brilliant quarterbacks that's ever played. He identified pressure that was coming. He adjusted the protection, and then he connected with one of his receivers in that gap.
Oh, yeah, he slotted it right in behind the backer.
Just completely stepped in out of nowhere, was capable of doing that. One of the craziest things that you'll ever see a 44-year-old capably do. Other than that, he just looked hilarious dropping back there. I think that we should do this once a season.
Oh, yeah.
I think we should call upon a random quarterback over the age of 40, and a team who loses their starter, they should have to only be able to sign someone like this.
It's so tremendous. It looked like he was wearing a winter coat under his jersey. We
had lots of that at practice in college.
I'm certain he was wearing a flak jacket. It was just such a scene. And then what you touched on, the ability to walk up and use some heady quarterback like knowledge to move over a backer and to know exactly where I need to put the ball versus this pressure, because I've seen it so many times. Lost art. It's a lost art. And today, to see what Phillip Rivers did, where he played quarterback for so long at so many places for so long, and then you just learn that he's a master of this craft. Whether or not you want to call his performance masterful or not, that's up to you. I would put it in the loo. But the mastery of playing quarterback cannot be undersold. And when I'm scrolling Twitter today and I see all of these phenomenal athletes playing quarterback that keep on transferring schools and don't know how to play quarterback anymore, I'm going to be telling kids, my kids, your kids, whoever, about what wizardry actually looked like in the pocket. And Phillip Rivers and his era of quarterbacks could be the last ones to actually be able to do something like that. Now, I know you're getting taught all this if you're a quarterback. I'm not saying Caleb Williams couldn't go and up to the line and check or switch a protection if he needed to. It's not the same level of autonomy. It's not the same feel of the game. These kids aren't learning how to be quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers knew how to play quarterback. That's why they signed his ass. Loved it.
I have to just to slightly pivot away from the game. This had me thinking, and I inspired you to write a piece on your Substack. And then I also did a video for the Sports Geek on this, a list of 5 guys that I put out of, the all-unk team of guys that I would call right this second to suit up and go and play a game. I know who you're going to go with. I got 2 quick options I'm going to pitch you. I would call Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith, I think he's 56. Emmitt Smith is in good shape. He lasted an insane amount of time. I don't know how quick he's going to move, but I think that if I needed to give him a couple short yardage carries, I think Emmitt Smith's going to get them for me over the age of 50. The other one's not as funny. Jason Peters, I feel like well into his 60s, I could pick up the phone and call him like 20 years from now. Jason, are you available? Jason, we need a left tackle.
Look, we need a swing guy. Come on, big man.
Yeah,
we need you. I think, Jason Peters stuck around for so long. Emmitt Smith, the same. I feel like that longevity, it's like, I don't know, you're a mechanic for 20 years. You look at an engine and you laugh at it. Like, oh, what you need me to replace the alternator? Yeah, give me a challenge. That's how I feel like they would set off. I want to see Michael Irvin take
that was the one I wanted you to bring up.
I want Michael Irvin in pads one more time so badly. And I don't want this to be now. A lot of people would have this conversation spin off to some football equivalent to the Big Three, where it would be the Unk League and they're playing on like a 40-yard field and they're trying to moss each other.
We don't need that.
It would look sad. It kind of would look sad.
Someone would quite literally explode.
Yes.
Someone would physically evaporate. All it would take is Vontaze Burfict coming over the middle and blasting like
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson, and
Yep.
then we've got a court case. We've just got like it would be a criminal case. There'd be no fixing that.
There needs to be stakes. The reason why the Phillip Rivers situation is also heightened is because Indy's in the freaking playoff race in the AFC. They're like 8-6, grinding it out in the AFC South, which is getting super tight. And they called on him to come and try to win a game. That's what's exceptional about that. I'm calling Michael Irvin to help me win a game if I need it. If I genuinely, desperately needed it, I bet he would die on that field if he had to. He really would.
Easily. That's not even a question.
I'm giving a call to Frank Gore, only 42.
Frank Gore's a good one.
I just love him. I'm giving a call to Hines Ward. I'm going to have him pop every single DB in the mouth.
I don't know if Hines Ward guy. I remember I went back and used your article as some inspiration. I don't know if I call on Hines Ward, but I mean it's not a terrible option for him to be on the table.
What about my safety plays of Eric Berry and Eric Weddle?
I included Eric Weddle in the video that I did. I think that Eric Weddle is another one of those guys. Like at 65, I could be like, "Hey man, can you just suit up for one game? We're not even going to put you out there. We just need a backup safety for this weekend."
He had 70 tackles in his last season.
How old was he in his last?
Old. I don't know, like 35, 34, 35. That's insane to me. That's old school football stuff.
God.
I want Phillip Rivers to stay on the Colts. I want Matt Ryan to be signed back by the Falcons. I want the Texans to sign Matt Schaub as a backup. Matt Hasselbeck could go back up Sam Darnold in Seattle. Give me the gurus back in the organizations, all right? I'm actually getting tired of young quarterbacks, and it's starting to piss me off now that I'm seeing old quarterbacks. I'm like, I need this. I need more of it. It's like rock gods looking at the state of guitar now. I know it's math rock, and it's just so intricate and artistic, but looking at old rock gods and how they commanded the presence of that instrument, and now it's like you can't even find a guitar in the top 40. I'm old. That pisses me off that I'm old, and now I want more Phillip Rivers.
All right, let's move over to some of these other games because these other games were actual real football. The Bengals, man, we thought that they could maybe shock everybody and put together some sort of crazy comeback, but the Ravens looked pretty stout defensively. They got all over Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow looks all sappy and pissed off. This is turning into kind of like a teenage drama where he's all pouty and stuff, and I don't even know what to do anymore with this.
It doesn't help that he looks like a Disney teenage drama guy.
Yeah. This was the first shutout that the Ravens had since week 6 of 2018 when they did it against the Titans. And this is the first time the Bengals have been shut out since week 1 of 2017, which also came against the Ravens in a 20-0 loss. Burrow, as you mentioned here, he really struggled under pressure. He completed just 4 of 10 attempts for 59 yards in such situations, with both of his interceptions coming on pressured dropbacks. Their offensive line needs to do something. There was the clip where he got hit late by Mike Green. Nobody came over to defend him. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. The one bit with this, though, I got to just add in. I love that, speaking of unks and old dudes, Kyle Van Noy getting a tip back. He's just like, I ain't making it all the way back there. Hello, here you go, man.
Come on. Go ahead. I'm going to make a heady play. Shades of Ed Reed and Ray Lewis trying to make it happen on the defense. Terrible game. Awful viewing experience. One of the worst of the year that I can remember. Because here's the thing. Baltimore still didn't look that good in this game. They looked fine. They looked like a standard Baltimore team, but not the Baltimore team that I was expecting mid-December that would be surging with Derrick Henry, who did come on in this game. I'm not going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to not acknowledge that. But I expected way more for this Ravens team. Cincinnati's a disappointment. The fans of Cincinnati should never go to another game. Did you see that they walked into that stadium like the coldest game ever sat in at Acrisure Stadium in Cincinnati?
I hate the way that you say that.
And they didn't. I hate the name of that stadium. They didn't even clean the snow off the seats for the fans. They couldn't even do that for them. Unreal behavior. Maybe the worst run team from ownership down to the fan level for the fan experience in the NFL. There's worse teams. There's teams that are way worse. But when you put together bitter cold Ohio, quarterback keeps on getting hurt, cheap owners won't sign nobody, keep on getting cheap with all their impact players, and okay, we got a receiver and a quarterback. Great. Yeah, I wouldn't go to another game if I was a Bengals fan. I wouldn't. What's waiting for me? Another year of this? Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. Remember when Joe Burrow was yelling at Zach Taylor after a win and Zach Taylor was trying to like console him a little bit? And Joe Burrow was
last year?
Yeah, I think so. And Joe Burrow was like, that's not, it's like basically this isn't acceptable. I think it's carrying over. Like I'm starting to sway more onto the side of get rid of that joker at head coach, get him something fresh and new, or else this guy's Joe Burrow's going to stay disgruntled. Last thing I want if I'm Cincinnati is that dude, that quarterback, being disgruntled in any way. He should be king of that city.
But the problem with this is that the ownership, as you just mentioned, is a complete and utter joke, and they visibly just do not treat any of this seriously. It does not feel like, with the golden ticket that they have with some of the players on this roster, they have not taken advantage of it. That was a pathetic showing that they had when really with Burrow back on the field, they should be in every single game. They really should be going on the run that we joked about after they won on Thanksgiving, but now they're just back to the same dog-esque performance, except Joe Burrow's on the field and he's playing during it, and he's getting completely smoked because nobody's helping him. Look, I know that Bengals fans get upset when you say, hey, Joe Burrow might want out. I know that it's been the speculated, not even rumored, but it's just been the speculated thing that people have said over and over again.
It's starting to build now.
I would love for him to work in Cincinnati, but I'm sorry to say this for Bengals fans, your guys' ownership is not setting him up to succeed. I don't know what it takes to move a contract like the one that he has, but one does have to wonder if that is on the horizon.
Here's my pitch. I'll give you Cincy. I'll make it fair for you. I'll give you Kirk, Tyler Algier, and Kyle Pitts for Joe Burrow right now. Sign the paper.
I don't think
that,
you're not even going to give him Penix.
Joe Burrow needs a backup.
You're an ass.
What do you mean?
Moron.
Kirk's doing okay.
You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous.
I want Joe Burrow badly, and I'm trying to maintain or subdue all of that fan-filled hopefulness that he would leave Cincinnati because I think he's good in the AFC. I like the bump that he gave to Patrick Mahomes. I don't think he's a quarterback that's scared of any of these AFC quarterbacks or any of their top teams. He is a dude in the NFL that can duel with anybody. How rare is that? Maybe one of the 2 or 3 guys in the league that is truly fearless when he's going up against another alpha quarterback. So I think every team should want him. If he hits, if there's some possibility of him going on and moving to a different team, this is a mortgage your future type play. It really is. And I know it's hyperbolic and that's not how you build a team. And every team should be losing down this stretch for a better draft pick. I don't care. I don't. I want to see every quarterback playing their best going into the next season. I think the fans want to see that too. I mean, honestly, winning a useless game like what Washington did over New York yesterday it hurts Washington in the draft. It hurts them in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
But it gets them a win. Teach them how to win, or else they're just going to be a bunch of losers for the next 5 years because they don't know how to win.
Reminder, today's episode is presented to you by our friends over at FanDuel. And also, if you're tuning in, please hit that like button. It helps us out during these streams, help us get a little bit more exposure. This game, Sean, was quite possibly the best of the weekend. Bills against the Patriots. This surge that the Bills had to get back into the game, despite being down 21 points, was insane. Until their Week 15 loss to the Bills, the Patriots had a 124-1 record when leading by 21 plus points at any point in a home game in team history. They had won 104 straight home games when leading by 21 plus points entering this performance. And it all comes down to Josh Allen being forever inevitable. He now is tied, and this is what kind of makes this all even more intriguing because of who he's tied with. He is tied with 86 career wins with Tom Brady and Russell Wilson for the second most wins by a quarterback in their first 8 seasons in the NFL. The only person that he trails is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you brought up the narrative last week we were discussing NFL, and it hasn't been able to leave my mind. Credit to you, where AFC is open for you, big man. The big man in Buffalo has a wide open path to the AFC. Now it's going to be tough. You're going to have to beat New England again, most likely in the playoffs. That game was trenchy. That game was tough. They are going to be prepared. You're going to have another crazy, gritty win again. After New England, though, Who do I think that he can't duel with? Who do I think that he can't go toe-to-toe with?
Yeah.
I think it clears everybody in the AFC South. I think he beats Denver just fine. I am not worried about anybody in the AFC North. So it's your path. And you know what? Mahomes is down. Bad year for the Chiefs. Go make it happen. Like this is it. I thought the window for Buffalo was closing like 3 years ago. I thought it was going to be the reign of the Chiefs and they were going to be great forever. Nope. You got a rare one here. You have to make it count. When Brady got injured and he tore his ACL, the AFC rep in that game, was that Pittsburgh? I believe it was. I think they went to 2 straight. I know they won 1 of 2 while Brady
I think you might be right.
Tore his ACL and then had it recovered. I think they went back to back. The Bills have to tap into that and get one. If you can go to 2 Super Bowls in the next 2 years while the Chiefs are still in recoup mode, because eventually they're going to get back. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a very similar career trajectory as Tom Brady will, where it's, he's going to be down for a couple years, not in the Super Bowl for a couple years, and then late surge because he's Patrick Mahomes. He's one of the best quarterbacks ever. So is Josh Allen. Go and do it, man. You had Mike Vrabel in the press conference after saying, yeah, basically Josh Allen beat us. 6'5", can run, can throw. He's deadly accurate. He beat us. And they scored 5 straight times in 5 drives in the second half. That guy doesn't give out a lot of praise. That guy hated to have to give out praise because he just got beat straight up by Josh Allen in the offense. That's impact.
I think that the funniest part about this game, though, building the lead that they did, it kind of felt like it got up to the point where the Patriots were pulling away, the big Trevion Henderson play, and it's like the Bills realized, wait a minute, wait, hold on. Who are we down to? It's just a reality check where suddenly they recognize, okay, this is the Patriots. I get that they're hot right now, but they're normally the team that we're beating up on.
Yeah.
Or in recent years. I'm freaking Josh Allen. I need to go and get this win. I'm not letting this happen. How the hell is this happening? It's to your point. It's wide open. As good as the Patriots have looked, this was a little bit of a reality check and maybe a sign of their youth that they gave up a lead like this. There's a lot of work that they're going to need to be able to do to really, truly prove themselves. The Bills should be the team that everybody buys into. They should be the team that is going to get to the Super Bowl because now you don't have Burrow and you don't have Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. You definitely don't have Patrick Mahomes with the injury and them getting eliminated from the playoff. This is the year that you're supposed to freaking do it.
Well,
do it.
You still got to beat If Man. I think he gets by If Man. Is you going to be worried about Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, you're going to disrespect him even after he had a tremendous game yesterday.
He's been
on
Jets.
Who cares? He's been on a ridiculous streak.
He played nobody, Paul.
Every time you shit on someone, they start playing well. By the way, quick, we're not breaking down the Vikings-Cowboys game. I'm going to need all the JJ Glazers to calm the hell down. Yeah. Russell Wilson threw for 400 yards against the Cowboys. And I have to see in my timeline, well, it's almost like we rushed and evaluated J.J. McCarthy.
He can't.
Do we need to pull up the Jamarcus Russell comparison again,
Joe? J.J. McCarthy can't throw the ball with his feet on the ground. He jumps to throw the ball. His technique is goddamn terrible. I'm not in on this guy.
If I have all of his other starts are doo-doo, and I got one game against one of the worst secondaries in the NFL where he plays kind of okay.
Yeah.
But, looks really wonky and disoriented trying to throw the ball, as you just pointed out. I think I'm going to go with the larger group of evidence and not dick ride JJ McCarthy into a new millennium. I'm not doing it. Okay. We're not going to.
All of that energy could be spent dick riding Drake May. And
yes.
Dick riding here's the thing.
Dick ride the really good quarterback from that class.
This is like the first.
And Bo Nix, who we're going to get to in a second.
This is like the first time the AFC East has had a real rivalry since like maybe 2009, where 2 teams were actually and that was with the Jets with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez. Finally, this division doesn't just have one leader in it for the entire season and 3 dog piss teams. I love this. I'll watch every single Bills Patriots game when they play each other, as long as Mike Vrabel's there, as long as Josh Allen's there, as long as Drake May's there. I'll watch every minute of all of those games. It couldn't get much better in the NFL.
Yeah, this is the type of rivalry that, I mean, you have to be fired up for that. 2 franchises that really care, their front offices, their organizations, and the fan bases really, really care. I can't say the same thing about the Mickey Mouse operation with the Jets, and at times Mickey Mouse operation with the Dolphins. They haven't been good for so freaking long. The fact that the two teams that have proven the commitment to winning are back to being winning teams and just going head-to-head, bashing their skulls against one another every single year, twice a year, you couldn't be gifted something any better than this. We were gifted another really good performance from the Broncos. Dude, we got to stop. We legitimately have to stop for a second here and recognize that this Broncos team is not fake. I feel like a lot of people have always put an asterisk behind Bo Nix, who has looked really good this year, and everybody's tried to downplay the way that he's played. Everybody downplayed him when he was drafted. Nobody thought that this was going to work out. They started 1-2. Everybody was quick to call for, oh my God, this Broncos team, it's reality setting in. Last year was all luck. BS to that. The Broncos secured a 2025 playoff spot with this win over the Packers, becoming the first AFC team to clinch a postseason berth. The significance of this is a team that was first to clinch a playoff berth has reached the Super Bowl in each of the last 3 seasons, although those 3 teams ultimately lost. But still, you get to a Super Bowl in year 2 of your young quarterback, and defense hasn't been as good as it was at the in certain parts of this year. But with your really good defense that's also young, it's a momentum builder for the future.
They're a real team, man. They're a scary team. They're young. The defense is freaking nasty. I don't know if there's a bigger, underrated defensive star in the league than Nick Bonito. I mean, just an absolute demon off the edge. And Bo Nix, game of his life, and nobody's talking about it. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, took 0 sacks against the Green Bay Packers with an awesome defense.
Let me just add in here before you continue. This is the 4th game with 4+ passing touchdowns that he has had in his career, and only Patrick Mahomes and Dan Marino have recorded more games with 4+ passing touchdowns in their first 2 NFL seasons. I didn't know that Bo Nix was capable of this.
Oh.
He says, completely sarcastically.
Yeah, I guess Sean Payton's a pretty good coach. I hate it. I hate him. I'll always hate him.
Okay.
But this Broncos team looks like those Saints teams in the NFC South under Sean Payton, where it's just suffocating defense. They got players at all the right positions, and then a quarterback that's never trying to do too much, but he just does his job and dots you up surgically. Now, Bo Nix eventually is going to transform into a mid-stage career, career of Drew Brees, where he's more set in the pocket, kind of dial, just working through it. That's as long as he stays with Payton, I think. Right now, he's still mobile. He's still running around, still making things happen. Here's why I'm buying in on Bo Nix also. Normally, when a young quarterback starts scrambling out towards the sideline, I'm thinking disaster. I'm thinking he's going to get pushed out for a sack. He's going to take a sack. He's going to throw it across his body for an interception. He's going to get the ball batted, or it's going to go to a defender's feet. It's going to be anything but a completion. Bo Nix, I don't have that. I don't have that anymore, Bo Nix. Bo Nix starts scrambling. I say, go ahead, big man. Go ahead, make a play, because I've seen you start making plays like this, and I'm trusting you to go on your own, defer out of the play if it's broken down or the coverage is too good. Go make something happen, and he does. The improvising is solid, and we're in an improvising part of the quarterback game. That's why I hate it so much. But we're at a huge point where that's important to extend plays and have a receiver get open. He does well at that. So Bo Nix is legit. I really am thinking that in a year or two, he's in some real scary conversations that we would not have expected Bo Nix to be in when he first entered the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, there's a realistic opportunity that if they go far in the playoffs and they are able to accomplish that stat that I just threw out there, I'm obviously not saying at this current moment he's not a top 10 guy, but if they go to the playoffs and he has just one really stellar performance and he's relatively mistake-free and just keeps his team in games, and they do at least reach the AFC Championship game in a year where there's much less competition, as we were talking about with the Josh Allen segment, we would have to consider him to be a top 10 guy.
How about this?
Off the top of my head.
How about he goes to the playoffs, wins a playoff game, or loses a playoff game, and if he loses, it's not on him. If he goes out there and just doesn't piss down his leg and lose the game, I'm dabbling with the conversation of him being top 10 next year. He's winning ball games. I just swear to God, what else do I need from a quarterback to do? We're not in the era of quarterbacks going out throwing for 400 yards anymore. They moved the kickoffs up. You're having shorter fields. The stats are going to get worse. And all you box score watchers don't realize that. Why aren't quarterbacks throwing for 5,000 anymore? Because the kickoffs are putting them on the 40. Because they want more scoring. They don't want yards anymore. I'm a yards guy. Bo Nix, he's a wins guy. Matters more than both of those things. Like this guy. I like what he's doing. And I like that Denver's good. Denver is not a team that a lot of East Coasters think about very often.
No.
They're kind of tucked in the mountains. You think of them, you think of Elway. You think of that Peyton year. You think of, I don't know, Terrell Davis. Now, Broncos are relevant again. Give me another team from the AFC out west that I actually am excited to watch in the playoffs. I'll take it all day, every day.
And if we get some more defensive consistency, as you're talking about here, there's a legit path.
They got a Super Bowl defense, man. They got to figure out one of those cornerbacks. I don't know if he's a long-term option for him. I don't want to out him.
Why hate on Riley Moss?
Oh, you see, okay. So look, Riley Moss does not need to be the guy doing the seatbelt in the first quarter.
Come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Let him celebrate.
Pat Surtain make plays all over the field. Celebrate however much you want. Riley Moss, I don't know if he's really earned that yet.
Now, the one team that I think is like clearly positioned themselves and established, like, hey, we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm done trying to project who gets in the NFC. It's the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm done doing this. This was a statement win against a good Lions team that's going to miss the playoffs just because they had a really hard schedule. Just a really, really tough year. This Rams team is so freaking good, and it all goes through Matthew Stafford and him being almost 40 and putting up ridiculous numbers. This is Stafford's third game with 350 yards this season after he had 0 games of that degree of production from 2022 to 2024. It was his third game with 350 plus yards and 2+ touchdown passes this year. That is the most in the NFL. And on top of this, and I brought this up in a previous week, how when he's getting pressured, and for some reason defenses keep pressuring him and sending heat, he is unbelievably good. It almost makes me wonder, hey, what if we just stayed back and played like the softest coverage possible? What would happen? Probably would get dotted up as well. He was blitzed on 51.2 of his dropbacks. That is the second highest rate in a game this season. When facing 5 or more pass rushers, Stafford completed 14 of 19 passes and 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is the most in a game against the blitz this season. He has now recorded 27 passing touchdowns when blitzed.
It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And I'll say this, he is this season cementing the gold jacket case for himself. It's genuinely. The Super Bowl is great. I think maybe was it Nick Wright? Somebody was trying to make some like argument that if Stafford doesn't go to the Super Bowl or doesn't win the Super Bowl this year, it leaves him with a pretty hollow Canton resume.
He won a Super Bowl.
I don't think so. I think showing what Stafford's doing late in his career is like diametrically opposite of what like Russell Wilson did. Russell Wilson's got a Super Bowl. You want to just look at the resumes between two of them, see how both of them are playing right now, and tell me which one of them is a Hall of Fame guy? It's Stafford. He is doing wizardry. I can't even pronounce it. He's awesome. And I know Devontae Adams is a huge help. We talked about that signing being so underrated for them. Puka Nacua is great. He's just like the best kid at the 7-on-7, just jumping over people, wants it more. I think that's why so many people like him, because he's one of these players that doesn't make it look like effortless. He's an all effort guy. And that's rules for them. Stafford's probably the best. Probably going to be the best quarterback in the NFC playoff picture. And I don't think it's
well, I mean, he's going to win he should win the MVP. He legitimately should go get the MVP.
It's not terribly close. I would die for a Rams-Bills Super Bowl. It would be heaven on earth. It's not
both
watching
have
the
to wear all blue uniforms.
It's not watching the Eagles just slop it up on the field. Let me watch this Rams team for the rest of the season, because as much as glaze I'm putting on them, they beat the hell out of Detroit. Detroit pushed them. Detroit had great games from Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams. Goff had a fine game.
Yeah. They
got all that happened. If Detroit got their run game working, we're looking at maybe like an overtime game or a shootout to the last field goal. Detroit's a really good team. They only ran for 70 yards. I'm floored by this Rams team. They could lose the next 3. I wouldn't be worried about them. They could lose the next 3 by 40 points each, and I wouldn't worry about them. Let's lose by 50 in 2 weeks when they play Atlanta on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? One more Kirk show for the people. I'm in love with the Rams. I think they have everything that it takes to go and win a Super Bowl. Offensive line plays well. The defense is phenomenally complementary with every single position group. They should be the Super Bowl favorite. And honestly, just punch it. I don't care if a team gets hot. I don't care about anybody from the NFC North. It's the Rams Super Bowl to lose.
For some quick context on Stafford statistically, by the way, he's in pretty close striking distance. If he plays one more season after this year, he would be top 5 in passing touchdowns and passing yards, because there's a pretty shallow group of guys in passing touchdowns and passing yards that he'd be able to hit. But then once you get into the top 5, it's just astronomically high that he'd have to play like 3-4 more seasons to end up passing the big dogs. Before we get out of here, because we're more ahead on time than I thought that we were going to be, Patrick Mahomes goes down with a season-ending injury. He's down and out with the torn ACL. Dude, we were talking about how bleak the future was, more specifically this season, and how a hard reset was probably going to be good for them. Some of the old faces on the team moving on, hopefully, and they could get young. Man, I don't know what to expect from this timeline, because you tear your ACL in December. I know ACL recoveries are quicker than usual, but I don't know if we're going to have them for the beginning of next year. And I don't know what they're going to be able to do. What is this a team that thinks that they're good enough to go out there and be aggressive and try and bring in someone as a stopgap to fill in for half the season with the hope that Mahomes comes back? I just have no idea how they're going to try and rectify this. Not only missing the playoffs, but also not having Mahomes for potentially a portion of next year. This is, some scary stuff if you're a Chiefs fan.
Here's what's going to be really tricky. If you're getting them back in September or 1st of September, 1st of October, I don't think I'm terribly worried, because previously it's a different situation or a different context. But sometimes the Chiefs will just dawdle around for the first month of the season, and they're like, all right, we'll just turn it on when we need to because we're so good. I think they have those muscles, like they've built those muscles up to turn it on, but it's going to be in a different context with developing chemistry with hopefully a lot more new receivers, hopefully a new tight end. He's got to develop chemistry with the offensive line all over again, new running backs also. Like, they need an overhaul. They need a skill position overhaul, and you get better with the skill position players in the offseason. Chemistry, throwing, getting your routes, throwing, getting your routes. All of that. Like that's so it's going to be a different. I'm not worried about the Chiefs, though. I'm just not going to be. I've seen 9 years of tremendous football out of that organization. Quarterback gets injured in a year where it just doesn't matter. It didn't stunt a playoff run for them this year. It's awful. It's not great, but I think Patrick Mahomes is a good enough quarterback where he can bounce back from a torn ACL and still have a highly productive second half of his career. If we're looking at a guy that could play, this is his 9th year, plays 15 to 18 seasons, kind of like Brady. I'm seeing the trajectory. Maybe he doesn't play it as fast and loose with the scrambling anymore. Still got a good arm. I think he could develop into a true pocket passer, become one of the wizards, the sorcerers of quarterbacking that just is so comfortable in the pocket that he can make anything happen. But this is a front office offseason. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to be the most entertaining team to watch all offseason to see what they do. They should cut everybody. They should cut and trade everybody. There's not a receiver. You keep Rashee Rice, fine. Keep Xavier Worthy, fine. Everyone else, gone. Tight ends, all of you, gone. Running backs, all of you, gone. This is Patrick Mahomes you're playing with. This is the Kansas City Chiefs with Andy Reid. Maximize it while you have it. Terrible loss, though.
Yeah, no, it's obviously, it's just awful that now that they have to figure out how to navigate not knowing when he's coming back. And this is the worst spot that they've been in, because they immediately transitioned from Alex Smith to Mahomes. As this is like the Todd Haley going back to when they were shit when he was the head coach. That was
a couple more years before Raiola comes into the picture and then leads Arrowhead to another championship.
God, don't need that. Don't need that. All right, everybody, that's going to be it from us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in at Joe DeLeone at Sanderson Radio, at Hex City Pod. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your week.